this began a trend of Corbin being known for being insanely safe in the ring. This was seen in subsequent matches and moments with the likes of Becky Lynch, Kurt Angle.
Also, that move there is such a safe move. Because, like over here with Triple H, you're the one taking the brunt of the damage here. What's up, everybody? Celtic Character here, back with everybody get those 10s and 20 views. WrestleMania is this weekend. Will I be streaming it? I don't know. I'm not paying for it. I'm not. This card looks terrible. I said it before, and I'll say it again. 2-night pay-per-views are not the way to go because you don't have enough to build out one card. Why put it up on 2? But wrestling's big. If I still have Peacock through Comcast, I'll live stream. If not, eh. But today we are going to WrestleLamia. 11 wrestlers, 11 WWE wrestlers who save their opponent in the split section. Slightly going to have to change things up. The logo of the page is up here, and it's just going to be the title because titles are starting to stretch this page. Original link to the video is in the description if you don't want to hear me rambling and stopping all this stuff. I will definitely go check it out. And I'm a big wrestling fan, so let's see. And how many of these do I remember? I know Brody Lee as Luke Harper saved somebody on the ring post before. Like, I've seen a few, and like wrestling is that like weird art form where it's like if it can go horribly wrong at any second.
Watch out now. No! Good Lord, The Undertaker!
11 times WWE wrestlers were saved by their opponent in a split second. Number 11, Seth Rollins saved by Randy Orton. When it comes to Hell in a Cell matches,
They should never paint the cell red. Maybe the top part of the structure, like up here, would have been really cool. But keep the cage like black or silver so it's easier to see through. Like the red, it was just overbearing. I will say that much.
it's vital that any spots
Like, so I mean, like that's a hard. Like to read what's going on in that like still frame is a pain.
involving weapons or spots outside the ring are delivered safely, and this is mainly due to the limited space around the ring. In 2014 on Raw, John Cena and Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, and Kane was turned into an unofficial Hell in a Cell match, and when Rollins went over the top rope onto Orton, Orton realized that the table leg was sticking up. Rollins could have easily been impaled, but thankfully Orton managed to catch Rollins and angle his fall in such a way where he would avoid the weapon. Orton was legitimately seething when the spot went down, and he proceeded to
Like, you see what I mean? Like, yeah, it's silver, still not the greatest, but it's still a better read than red.
throw the table out of the way. Orton was completely justified in doing this, as the table shouldn't have been left in such a dangerous and reckless position.
Who you blame for it being there? The camera guy?
Number 10, Kevin Owens saved by Roman Reigns. Well, the 2020
I'll knock Roman for a lot of things. Like, I think he's a one-trick pony. I think WWE has pushed him a little too hard. He cannot win the big match by himself. Go look at any of his title reigns during title defenses or big title reigns. He is a safe wrestler. And there's a couple of instances. He'll probably be on here where someone should have got hurt and Roman being that good of an actual wrestler portion of his wrestling is save their lives.
23 Royal Rumble is mostly known for the epic dissolvement of the bloodline, as Sami Zayn heroically turned his back on Roman Reigns. Outside of this, the match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens once again showed the world why Reigns and Owens are wrestling soulmates. The two arch rivals have had countless matches over
Also, these are the two guys like they say are like probably the safest in the WWE too.
the years.
No, we got an ad. Yeah, like I hear a lot of things like how safe KO is. I've seen how safe Roman is, where it's like, all right, cool, we can stick these two guys in and nothing's going to go wrong. Oh, that was an unskippable ad. Wow.
Which one has been
Like, yeah, like KO does that spot, and he still hasn't like seriously injured somebody is amazing.
stellar? Their two respective styles complement each other extremely well, and it's easy to see why WWE have been so eager to pair them together. Now in that match, Owens would go for a moonsault move from the top rope, and unfortunately Owens lost his footing. Due to the nature of the high-risk move, this could have ended in complete disaster, but thankfully
Yeah, no. He slipped. It's going back. Your neck is going to land poorly.
for Owens, Reigns instantly realized what happened, and Reigns proceeded to roll into
I think KO would have been fine here, to be perfectly honest, the way he's falling.
harm's way to cushion the entirety of Owens' blow.
But you can't blame... I'm not going to be like, no, you didn't need to do that. No, you like, oh, this looks bad? Let me make sure it's good.
Reigns had less than a second to act, and he did remotely hesitate in risking injury to save him.
Yeah, so I'm saying he saw that went wrong, and he was just like, this could go bad. Let me get there just to be safe. You'll never hear me knock that.
Owens. Number 9, Dolph Ziggler saved by Baron Corbin. During his
Oh, I remember hearing about this one. Like, Dolph slipped, and Baron just caught him and kept him upright.
WWE run,
Baron Corbin. Once they got rid of the lone wolf gimmick and like what little straggly hair he had, it was downhill for him.
Baron Corbin received one of the best reputations possible for a top-flight pro wrestler. Corbin was considered to be one of the safest
Yeah, right there. That version of Baron Corbin was the best Baron Corbin.
pro wrestlers in the world. Corbin, despite being larger than a lot of his opponents, knew how to take care of opponents, and Corbin often went out of his way to make sure wrestlers landed safely.
See, I mean, like, it's like, say what you want about the bad gimmick. You put him in a match. I'm like, all right, my guy's going out safe.
During Corbin's first feud on the main roster versus Dolph Ziggler, the two would collide at the Money in the Bank show in 2016, and Corbin would say,
God, that version of Baron Corbin looked like a badass. And just Vince. I think it was Vince.
save Ziggler from the most unfortunate landing. In the match, Ziggler attempted to run and jump off the steel steps onto the lone wolf, but unfortunately Ziggler slipped and it looked like he was going to land right on his face. Luckily, Corbin caught the former world champion and turned it into a deep 6. This recovery was incredible.
And like you can see Zolf's like, I'm not sure what's going on, but I'm going to trust you here.
And this began a trend of Corbin being known for being insanely safe in the ring. This was seen in subsequent matches and moments with the likes of Becky Lynch, Kurt Angle.
Also, that move there is such a safe move. Because, like over here with Triple H, you're the one taking the brunt of the damage here. As long as they don't like push their face too far, they're not even going to really get hit.
And even a returning Edge. Number 8, Dolph Ziggler saved by Kane. Similarly to Baron Corbin, Kane was also a name that was known for being safe in the ring, and this likely explained why so many names were always willing to work with him over the years. Having a name like Kane in a ladder match such as the Money...
Oh, is this the first one? No, this has to be like 2 or 3, because I'm like, I don't see Jericho. It was his creation, but he never won it.
in the Bank match may have been an odd fit on paper.
Also, look how young we got here. You have the father of the patriarchy, Christian, Shelton Benjamin next to him, Jack Swagger, what's his real name? Jake Hager, Drew McIntyre, Kofi, Evan Bourne, Matt Hardy, Dolph, and MVP. Holy crap. It was like, all these guys, except maybe outside of Evan Bourne here, they had like superstar written all over them, but WWE did not know how to push them.
But in reality, it made a ton of sense. Kane was established as a ring general, and if anything went wrong with any key spots in the match, the Big Red Machine could put things back together in an instant. In the 2010 Money in the Bank match for the SmackDown brief...
Oh God, why is the Big Show there? Look at, also, again, that's Drew McIntyre, Dolph, and a young Cody Rhodes going down, and then Matt Hardy. But God, like, you can tell it's Cody, you can tell it's Drew, but they look so different.
briefcase, which happened to be won by Kane, he managed to save Dolph Ziggler from tearing a ligament. That spot was supposed to see Ziggler dive towards Kane and then for Kane to dump him outside, but sadly Ziggler's leg and knee got tangled in the ropes. This is a type of botch that has occurred countless times over the years, and
It's a freak accident one where the foot just happens to get caught.
it's just something that really can't be avoided. But Kane acted immediately, and he was able to save the former world champion from impending doom. Number 7, Damian Priest saved by Apollo Crews. Our Apollo
Yeah, a smaller guy saving a big guy. You gotta give it up to this.
Crews is a name that has
Apollo Crews, again, another guy who should be a megastar, but due to inconsistent booking, isn't.
So much to offer WWE, and it's a real shame that he's rarely used on television. Whenever Crews
Why I feel like he'll be in AEW and just take off the same way Swerve did.
is given an opportunity on television, he always delivers.
Also, I think his style fits what AEW does better. The fact that clip was against Cesaro may prove that.
And this was the case when he
Sorry, Claudio Castagnoli.
wrestled Damian Priest on Raw. During the match, Priest would attempt to take out Crews by diving off the steps, and sadly, Priest didn't over-rotate enough, and this meant that Priest was about to land neck first onto the outside. This would have been horrendous, and it was possible that Priest could have broken his neck live on television.
Yep.
But thankfully, Crews managed to catch Priest, and the amazing thing was Crews didn't even have to adjust his body. He just
God, also, he is jacked. Oh my god. John Silver versus Apollo Crews. Match of the tiny jacked guys. But yeah, no, he must have noticed that he just didn't rotate well and just kind of sat down and made sure he rolled onto him.
instantly knew that Priest needed to be caught. Crews managed to hold
Like right there, he must have realized that, oh, he needs to be jumped already and didn't realize
him
it.
in the midair position for a brief second to ensure that
Like, he might have been good, but rather safe than sorry. That's always the case
his
here.
neck wouldn't hit
I think if Apollo Crews wasn't there, he would have kept rolling right through it, but
the outside of the ring. Number 6, Braun Strowman saved by Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. One of the most acclaimed matches of the COVID-19 era was a triple threat
I feel so bad for Drew. He carried that company during COVID, and they couldn't even get him a real good title run afterwards with actual fans.
WWE title match at WrestleMania Backlash. The match saw
Also, I think the only reason why Braun Strowman's in this match happened was Roman may have just come back from cancer, didn't want to travel because of COVID because, you know, he just had, I think, a form of, like, any form of cancer. He's like, yeah, I'm going to play it super safe.
Bobby Lashley take on Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre, and all three men went out of their way to steal the show. During the match, Strowman would attempt to go high risk by diving off the ring apron onto his two opponents. But unfortunately for Strowman, he was landing headfirst to the outside, and this is when Lashley and McIntyre worked together to save Strowman from a serious injury. To save Strowman, Lashley and McIntyre would rotate Strowman over in order for him to land safely on his back. This was expertly done and once again highlighted why
I think that's more on Drew. I think Lashley, once he felt the way the weight was shifting, kind of just was like, all right, cool. But I think I put that more on Drew because Drew saw it from the whole way.
Lashley and McIntyre are two of the best to ever lace up a pair of boots. Number 5, Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus saved by Nia Jax.
Okay, that just seems wrong on paper. Because I criticized Nia Jax for being an extremely unsafe wrestler who hasn't gotten better throughout the years. But alright, we'll give her a fair shot here.
During her first run in WWE, Nia Jax attained a negative reputation for being unsafe in the ring. While
Still has that.
some fans took these criticisms of Jax's work too far sometimes, Jax was kinda reckless, and this was something that she was gonna have to work on in her subsequent WWE run. Thankfully,
That it's one. I think Nia Jax, and it's not a body shaming bit here, almost doesn't realize how big she truly is and misjudges the distances. I'm 6'4". There's times where I'm thinking like, oh, I'm good. The next day, here's my wrist hits the door, or my head hits something. Once you get, you're like, yeah, you've been 6'4" for 20 something years. Not 20 something years. Probably 20 years. No. 19 years now. You should be used to it. It doesn't matter. There's stories of like Luke Gallows walking around Japan with the face paint on, hitting his head on the forehead.
the former women's champion did just that, as her second WWE run has been a vast improvement, and Jax has
Meh. Improvement, yes. Vast, no.
worked endlessly to get better at her craft. Jax has evidently put a lot of effort into making sure she slows down in the ring and she protects her opponents at all times. But this has even backfired on Jax, as at the 2024 Survivor Series War Games, she was criticized for being way too soft in the ring when it came to her chair shots.
Yeah, I think that's probably her trying to overcorrect on that. Where it's like, there's times where you should look stiff and hard. That's what she said. But there's times where it's like, hey, no.
A fast forward to a feud with Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus in early 2025, and one spot during their feud was supposed to see Jax hit a finisher Annihilator on both women as they were stacked up in the corner. But for this move to work safely, the two women had to be stacked on top of each other with their bodies matching up, or else it could have led to a very serious injury. As Jax was about to hit the move, she noticed that their bodies weren't matching up, as Stratus was lying in at an angle which could have meant that Jax could have landed on her neck. As she decided to botch the spot on purpose by landing in the softest way possible, and whilst
I'm not going to criticize it. If you think you can seriously hurt somebody, I would rather you not do the move correctly and get criticized online.
Jax received criticism at this first, she had no choice in the matter and she ultimately made the right call. Number 4.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's like, if you realize, oh, I'm going to do something that's going to make someone hurt. AJ Styles does that a lot with the Styles Clash. Like, that will definitely be on him. AJ Styles with James Ellsworth.
Kalisto saved by Ryback. And mainly,
again, a person you would not think of as a safe wrestler. Ryback and Nia Jax.
thanks to public comments made by CM Punk, Ryback had a rotten reputation for being unsafe in the ring. But with that being said, during Ryback's vastly underrated feud with Kalisto in 2016, Ryback showed that he could deliver matches and he was fully capable of looking after his opponents in the ring. During their excellent match,
I think Ryback's big thing is after the whole CM Punk thing, he didn't like step back and like try to take time to prove like Nia Jax did. He just started running his mouth and became a locker room cancer and hasn't wrestled really since.
at the Payback event, Kalisto was performing a springboard second rope corkscrew plancha to the outside, but he didn't get enough momentum to connect to Ryback. Seeing that the reigning US champion was about to have a horrific landing, Ryback basically cradled Kalisto into his arms and brought him to the ground safely.
Well done, Ryback. That's a good one.
This was the type of action that was
Like that one there, if you look where he was.
cradled Kalisto into his arms and brought him to the ground safely. This was the type of action that was
Like, Kalisto hit the ropes, so all his weight would probably land on his shoulder and ribs, and it would have been very painful. Like, and where Ryback's arm is definitely where his whole body weight would have landed.
common during the matches as they vibed extremely well in the ring, and it was almost as if Ryback was just waiting for the right opponent to deliver his finest work with. Number 3, Cody Rhodes saved by Fandango. Our moonsault
Cody, stop going to the top of the cage and doing a moonsault. You do not end well.
is one of the most dangerous moves there is, and it's sometimes on the wrestler taking the move to ensure that their opponent doesn't land right on their head. In 2013,
Look at that young Cody Rhodes. God. And Fandango.
Fandango was wrestling Cody Rhodes on Raw, and when
Talk about a guy who was so over that WWE did not know what to do with. It's Fandango. Take that era of Fandango in AEW now, he'd be world champion. The gimmick would work. Same with Tyler Breeze. I think they're two wrestlers that came slightly too soon.
Rhodes went for his moonsault, Fandango instantly realized that Rhodes didn't get enough rotation upon his initial jump. Fandango realized that the future WWE champion was going to land right on his head. He quickly moved forward and reached out his arms to ensure that Rhodes would be safe. Thankfully, Rhodes was perfectly fine, and Fandango deserves a ton of praise for his quick thinking and
Oh, yeah, no, that one, not as, I think right here is where Cody would have landed. And Fandango just slowed his weight down by getting underneath him, yeah.
Number 2, Seth Rollins saved by Roman Reigns. And when Seth Rollins returned to action in 2006,
Where's Brody Lee? I forget who it is, but
16 followed by a serious knee injury, there was a lot of concern that Rollins wasn't quite ready to compete. Therefore, when Rollins faced Roman Reigns at the Money in the Bank event, it was on Reigns to guide Rollins through the match and ensure that his former Shield teammate was as safe as possible in the ring. But in typical Reigns fashion, he truly stepped up, as throughout the match, it's clear on more than one occasion that Reigns is taking things slow and going at a pace that Rollins is fully comfortable with. One particular spot in the match stands out, and
oh god, that's the injury. Yeah, he went for a sunset flip, which is basically the position he's in, but he flips down, lands on his feet, and your opponent goes with him. But when he landed, his knees just did not accept the...
Heard when Rollins was going for a sunset flip powerbomb on the turnbuckle.
Wow, the exact move where he got hurt.
Due to this being the exact move that
oh no, he didn't get his feet around.
caused Rollins' initial knee injury, Reigns would keep Rollins balanced and he would only let go of his knee at the last second. Reigns was
Yeah, it didn't look clean, but I'll take not looking clean and safe.
a total pro in the spot, and he didn't even break the illusion of the move itself. As
Yeah, he did.
it could be logically explained that Reigns was just trying to fight Rollins off, when in reality, he was making sure that his best friend and opponent wasn't going to get hurt again. And number 1, Rey Mysterio saved by Logan Paul.
There's the one where Seth Rollins gets run down and someone goes, Roman Reigns comes down and he's got to be impaled and someone tells, Orton yells him to get back. The Luke Harper spot where it's like the guy's literally going to like fall and Luke catches him and just...
Since signing with WWE, Logan Paul has impressed with his work ethic and his in-ring presence. One of Paul's most acclaimed matches was the match.
My issue with Logan Paul is he doesn't look like he wants to be there. If he was there all the time wrestling, I would have zero issue. But he's just popping up like The Undertaker and it's like all this stuff. And also he hijacked most of Hangman Page's move.
He won the US title in 2023. He would defeat the iconic Rey Mysterio to win the title, and in the match, Paul would offer a heroic save when Mysterio almost landed on his head following
Yeah, no, that would have been all face there.
a springboard move. According to Paul on his podcast, both men made a mistake as he was far too back for the spot to work, but he quickly
Well, that's one thing. If he screws up, he does admit to it.
acted to catch Mysterio and save him from impending doom. I'm gonna come clean because I've seen all these positive headlines. Logan saves Rey Mysterio. The Mexican community is going crazy. They're praising me, say I'm some sort of a hero. I'm like, dang, I'm getting recognized for something cool. I'll take it. And then I looked at the clip. Upon assessing my performance, while I think I did save Rey Mysterio, I think I almost killed Rey Mysterio.
See, that's the one thing you kind of say. Like, Logan Paul is taking wrestling serious when he's in the ring. He's not taking, like, shortcuts. He's not trying to do something that he can't do. He's not taking, like, liberties. He's like, no, if I'm out there as a wrestler, I'm out there as a wrestler. I just wish he was a full-time wrestler. If he's just popping in to do one-offs now and then, great. But the fact that they gave him a title and people think he's, like, super, like, world champion level, no.
I was too far back for the move, and I think he didn't clear enough ground for the move. That's what happened. I was far too back. He didn't clear enough ground. We both made a mistake. I had to catch him. I wasn't going to not catch him. But truthfully, while I like the headlines and I like getting gassed up, I was just doing my job. I'll take the praise.
Yeah, right there. That's the right mindset.
And this is a great mix of reality and kayfabe from Paul, and it's appreciated that he was keen to admit his own failures when it came to the spot. And this ultimately didn't take away from the fact that he stepped up to save the spot from being a total disaster. But
What I liked about that spot, and they didn't get into it.
there you have it, folks.
I'll leave it there. Was he didn't just catch Rey. He catch Rey and then transitioned into something else. So it wasn't just like, oh, I caught the bad spot. No, I'm catching up. I'm going to pitch you with the move. Yeah, no, there's definitely... I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. Luke. It's an H. Harper. Yeah, Mustafa Ali. That's the clip I'm thinking of. Yeah, I know you can hear it.
Go.
It's a Clash of Clans commercial. I'll unmute once. Yeah, so this is one I thought was going to pop up. That's the max I can get to.
650 pounds of heavy machinery.
Yeah, Braun kicks. So he if he falls straight back, it's all onto the announce table.
We got them both right in front of us.
You know what I mean? Like, that's the one I thought was going to pop up, but it didn't. But that's it. That's really all I have. Hopefully, if there's something you want me to react to and I haven't watched it already, let me know in the comment section. If not, go check me out. I should be on Twitch most night, VTubing. So that way I don't need this big, bright ring light in front of me while I'm gaming. But that's it. That's all I have. I'll see you weird people later.